कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति शांति शांतिः ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम शांति शांति शांति।
Last time we had seen what whatever that entity I is a principle which is self-experiencing in nature. Anubhava Swarup. Simultaneously, it is self-knowledge principle, self-knowing principle, Myakti Swarupa. Again, it is self-awareness principle, Chit Swarupa. To experience, to know, to be aware of, all these facets are the nature of what? All these facets are nature of the entity called I, Atma. Now, what is our concept or what is our observation as far as this I entity is concerned? Always happy. It doesn't know what is meant by sorrow, is it not? Is it? No birth, no death, is it? No. I entity is something we are more prone to sorrow than to be happy. Birth is that. Death is that. Many ups and downs, calamitous things are there in life. Accepted? What do you mean by samsara? You don't know. Being born in India, you don't know. I am asking you word. The word samsara. You don't know. Generally people think of samsara means getting married, children, and then all is it. That is not samsara. Our existence of mixture of joys and sorrows, birth and death, more sorrows, calamities, agitation in the mind, all this is what is called such type of, that is, experiences put together, we call it samsara. Desirable, undesirable, indesirable. You are running after it. You are running after it. Because we don't know that our true nature is free from this. Now this samsara, as we described in terms of sukha dukkhatmaka, janma maranatmaka, etc., joyous, sorrowful, birth and death, do we experience? Sure. If you want to get freed from that, can they be within the range of our experience? Yes? If they are within the range of your experience, sukha dukkha, you are still where? In samsara. You are still in samsara. You have to be free from that. You have to get freed from samsara. If you have to get freed from samsara, means you have to be freed from mainly sorrow. Okay? You don't bother about the joy. But that is the problem in that, that's why it is not desired. But still, main concern is getting freed from what? Sorrow. Now you are experiencing sorrow. If you want to get freed from that, should you not experience that you are free from sorrow? Your problem is of what? Experiential samsara. You have, if you want to get freed from that, you have to discover experientially only you are free from samsara, then your problem is solved. Look, as the example. You are hungry, experienced or not? You want to get freed from that by eating the food, appeasing hunger. The appeasement of hunger, should we experience or not?
Yes.
I am not asking you what method you resort to. Whether you appease your hunger by eating the food or doing some asana, etc., including Shirshasana. You know what is Shirshasana? Head down, legs up. Don't try on your own. If you are not proper guide, don't try. So that is that. Or there are something, these mudras, etc. They can help you or get over the hunger for some time, etc. You may resort to any method whatsoever. Your hunger will be what? Relieved when you experience that is no more hunger. Yes or no? You are, what is that called as this? That is sorrowful. When you can say that I am free from sorrowful? Should you experience or not? You are sick. You should experience free from sickness. You have pain. You are experiencing pain. Is it not? That means if I experience samsara, to get freed from that, I am free from samsara, this also needs to be because solution should be at the same level or degree of existence as the problem. If you are hungry, not now, in dream. In dream, you are hungry, which food is useful? Your fridge is full of it. Is it useful to you? You should have which food? Dream food. In the dream, what happened was, see, so you were going somewhere, you could not get the food, etc., and you had to finally drink water and sleep. And in the dream, you dreamt that you are having a sumptuous dinner. It's served. The table is full of, the plate is full of all this sumptuous food. And you are about to put the food in your mouth. You woke up. You are hungry. Will it solve? So therefore, the solution must be of the same degree of existence as the problem. In dream you got $1 million check. With this person sleeping on the footpath. Any solution? No. Like that. If my samsara is experiential, and if Shruti says, Upanishad says, you are free from samsara, you are free from body, you are free from joys and sorrows, you are free from janma marana, should it be experienced or not? So therefore, see, this is all along the I being Anubhava Swarupa. This sorrowful, let us take sample of sorrows. We experience. How do we experience them? You should have vrittis, thoughts. Thoughts need to be illumined by who? Chaitanya. Chaitanya Atma doesn't illumine directly. It has to be illumined through Chidabhasa. Accepted? That means your sorrow experience is enabled by whom? As an experience enabled by whom? Chaitanya. But the sorrow aspect is enabled by whom? Or cast by whom? Vritti. Mind is vritti. Accepted? That means in any experience, the experience aspect is on account of Anubhava Swarupa Chaitanya Atma, the I entity. But the feature of sorrow is cast by whom? Vritti. Is it not? Now, for all experiences samsara, joy, sorrow, birth, death, etc., vrittis must be there. And this vritti has got the basis of what? Chaitanya given to us through Chidabhasa. Directly we are not connected with the Chaitanya, Chidabhasa. Huh? That means you remove this vritti, what remains? Chidabhasa or Chit remains. Be careful. See, you have removed the vritti. Earlier, because of Chidabhasa, you were experiencing the sorrow. The sorrow, that is sorrow vritti is removed by whatever means, whatever it may be. What remains? You can't say Chidabhasa. Why? Because what is Chidabhasa? Chaitanya Chit reflected in the vritti. Vritti gone. Reflection also gone. What remains is what? You see your face in the mirror. What is the reflection of the face? Remove the mirror. What reflection remains there? What remains? Face remains. Is it not? So therefore, Upanishads give us the means to end what we call these vrittis, which give us the sorrowful samsara. There is a word for that. What is it? Superimpose, adhyasa. This adhyasa, that is superimposition, attribution of these all vrittis gives the experience of samsara. In that, features of samsara are characterized by what? Vrittis. But actual enabling the experience is by who? Chidabhasa, because of Chit. You remove the superimposed entities, what remains? No Chidabhasa, Chit. And what is in nature? Anubhava, Sarupa. Remains or not? This is what. If our problem of samsara is on account of experiencing all these which are what? Superimposed on Atma, that is for word for them. You know what is called? Avidya Pratyayaha. You have forgotten that you have studied Kathopanishad Bhashya. In Kathopanishad Bhashya, all is called as what? Avidya Pratyayaha. Gundaka calls it as Hridaya Granthi. In short, Atma Anatma Adhyasa. Superimposition of Chaitanya Atma and Anatma. So that's it. You remove ignorance, all Adhyasa, superimposition, what remains is what? Shuddha Chaitanya, Nirupadhika Chaitanya. It is what? Experience, 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 experience without the Triputi subject-object relationship. Presently your experience are what? Look, you are listening to what I am teaching. You are the subject, what I teach is the object. And that is, you are the jnata, and what I teach is jnaya, connected to you by jnana. What is jnana? Jnana, vritti, thought. Yes? All our samsara experience are through this. But when you remove all this, see what remains? Subject-object relationship is not there. Why? Who is the subject? Jnata, identified with the body. In knowledge, what is not there? Body is not, you are outside the range of the body. You are outside the range of the Jagat. So therefore what? Chaitanya only is there. There is no Triputi, there is no subject-object relationship. That is what is called as what? Moksha. So therefore, if you want to define moksha, it can be seen in different ways. But know it for certain, Chaitanya Rupa Atma, in its true nature, totally free from avidya, ignorance, self-ignorance, karya, jagat, samsara. That is what? Moksha. Saraswati, so a great Vedantin who has written Advaita Siddhi, etc. At the same time, he was a great Bhakta also, Krishna Bhakta. He defines moksha as निरतिशय आनंद बोध रूप आत्मा एव. Atma alone is liberation. What is its nature? Niratishaya Ananda Rupa. Nature is what? Ananda, happiness. What type of Ananda? Niratishaya, limitless Ananda. That is the name Ananda. But then, have you got Atma or not? Have you got Atma or not? Because you are I, that I is Atma. Okay? But is it Niratisha Ananda? आनंद भी नहीं बोल सकते. Why? Avidya, Karya are mixed there. So therefore, the definition of moksha is Atma only will study limitless happiness, but totally free from avidya, ignorance of oneself and its effect. So, our effort must be where now? To get rid of avidya and its effect. How, etc. That is what Upanishads are going to teach us. So that is one definition of it. Is generally this definition is not that popular because it is in a text called Vedanta Kalpalatika, and this text is not popular as such. It is not that popular. So that is, but it is a very good definition. Other way which is defined in Taittiriya Bhashya or Kena Bhashya, Kena Bhashya, Swatmani Avasthanam. Moksha is what? Avasthanam, abidance, where in oneself, one's own true nature. Presently, are you not in yourself? Where are you abiding now? What abides? Body? Or mind? Or indriyas? What has to abide? Mind. These are necessary. Body is necessary, indriyas are necessary. But finally, presently, where is your mind abiding? You know. Anything but I. There is no answer. Anything but I. And what is that anything but I? Vishaya, sense object. So, presently, where is our avasthana? Not Swatmani. Come on, tell. Vishayeshu. In the sense object. Our present abidance is where? In the sense object. It should be Swatmani. How you abide in sense object? Always dwelling on the Vishayas. What to get, where to get, how to get, what to do, after getting what I should do to experience. Is it not? All the time mind is where? Who enables all this to you? Your pursuit of acquiring sense object, Vishayas, who enables? Body, Indriya, but they are enabled by who? We neglect what? The principle which enables, and we are there because our concept is happiness is that. That will say it is not that way. Mind abiding in what? Atma Sarupa. Swatmani Avasthan. Again in Brahma Sutra Bhashya, Bhashyakara says, Brahma Bhavaha Moksha. Brahma Bhava. Bhava is their Swarupa. Just as Atma itself, the moksha was told, Brahma itself is what? Moksha. You know why moksha? It is ever-existent principle. It is totally limitless, the happiness principle. It is knowledge principle. And it doesn't have sorrow. Come on. Tell me, how Brahma doesn't have sorrow? Have you sorrow?
Yes.
Yes. Brahma doesn't have sorrow. Atma also in its true nature has no sorrow. How is it? Who gives sorrow? Neighbor, no? Who gives sorrow? Or immediate next family member. Who gives sorrow? Anything other than Atma. At the practical level, three bodies, not three bodies, threefold body. Our body comprising gross body, subtle body, causal body. If this is not there, Atma Brahma is what? Nirupadhika, free from that, no sorrow. In the waking we have sorrows, which is going to come now, Mandukya. Because what? Gross body, subtle body are there, which gives you sorrow. In the sleep, in the dream, gross body is out of your range of cognition, sorrow is on account of what? Subtle body. In the sleep, both are out, no sorrow. But unfortunately, cause is there. What is that? Cause is there. Again, it's stuck. That is the case. Brahma is free from embodiment, free from Jagat. There is no occasion for sorrow to be there. Again, also in the Brahma Sutra Bhasha it is said, Brahma eva mukti avastha. Brahma itself is what? A state of what? Mukti. Means you have to get rid of all superimposed anatma, whatever is there. And the one who is abiding Brahma gets moksha from where there is no return. From where there is no return. So now the Upanishad tells you, you are who? Atma, Brahma, totally free from sorrow, totally free from janma, marana, nothing but ever existence principle, because no birth, death. It is nothing but knowledge principle, no ignorance. It is nothing but happiness principle, no sorrow. Who have told you? Upanishad. What is the status of Upanishad? From where you got the Upanishad? Upanishad from Vedas. Who gave the Vedas? Ishvara. Ishvara's statement should be necessarily what? Correct or not? So that's why Ishvara has told that we are free from samsara. Problem solved? Solved? It's pramana. Valid means of knowledge. Who has given? Ishwarokti. Solved? No. You have to actually claim it. See, Vivek Chudamani gives a beautiful example. One rich person had no issues, and his age was advancing. At a late age, he got a son. By the time he could grow up, he was almost on the verge of death. A lot of money. But he thought, if I give him now, he is immature. Nobody else has it. He will not be able to utilize that much, he may misuse it. So what he did was, he hid the money under the ground somewhere, totally closed to the sun, and told one of his very trustworthy friend. What? Father died, mother was not there. Whatever that was there, he had no means of earning also. Whatever that was there, he spent and lived for some years. By the time even that house also collapsed, he has no money to repair it. And what happened was, he is begging every day, coming to the where foundation of the house and eating somewhere sleeping. so many years, the father's friend happened to come this way. So he thought, let me see how is this boy, etc. What is his condition? Yeah, what is this all? Well, I have nothing, I don't know how to earn also. No. Your father has left a big treasure. Where is that? He said, where it is? Hidden. And who told? Trustworthy friend of father. Should it be correct or not? And he told such and such places. Will he get it immediately? What he has to do? Dig. Any obstruction, remove and then clean. This is beautifully explained in Viveka Chudamani. Let us see the verse. Just listen, it is not in your book. Okay? It is verse 65 of Viveka Chudamani. Just listen.
आप्तोक्तिं खननं तथोपरिशिला युत्कर्षणं स्वीकृतिं निक्षेपः समपेक्षते न हि बहिः शब्दैस्तु निर्गच्छति तद्वद् ब्रह्मविदोपदेशमनन ध्यानादिभिर्लभ्यते माया कार्यतिरोहितं स्वममलं तत्त्वं न दुर्युक्तिभिः.
This is what that boy has to do. Illustration. Afterwards we will say about Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa. Aptokti. First he should know that father has left the treasure. Who can tell? Like friend and trustworthy. Apta. Apta is the one who is interested in your good without expecting anything in return. Apta. Ukti, statement. He got it. Then what he should do? Khananam. He has to dig. Tatha, so also, they upari shiladi utkarshanam. You know, here the captive is deep down, and on that big boulders he has put, so that it should not be easily available to others. Upari shila adi, shila, that boulders or stone, big stones, etc. Utkarshanam, he has to what? Remove them. Then swikritim, then claim and take the treasure as well. What? Nikshepaha samapekshate. Nikshepa means a hidden treasure. A hidden treasure, that is what expects you to first have aptokti. That is the word of a reliable person. Then dig up. Any obstruction is there, remove, and then take it further. See, nahi bahish shabdaihi stu nirgachati. By simply, oh, my father has left so much, that is mine, etc. Nahi milega. Bahish shabdaihi, just by talk you are not going to get it. This is illustration. Likewise, tadvad, to discover yourself to be free from samsara, nothing but Ananda Swarupa, totally free from sorrow. First, what is necessary? Aptokti. Who is that Aptokti? Brahma Vidopadesha. Upadesha, teaching of who? Brahmavid, who have discovered themselves to be Brahma Swarupa or Upadesha, etc. Vedokti. Then Manana, you have to dig up. What dig up? Reflect and see the truth of it. Get rid of all the doubts. Then Dhyana, Nididhyasana. What is Nididhyasana? Anatma Pratyaya Tiraskarana, Atma Pratyaya Pravata. Repeatedly maintaining the thoughts about Atma, the nature of Atma, to the exclusion of what? Anatma. Dhyanadivi labhyati. What labhyati? What tattvam? What tattva? Maya karya tirohitam swam amalam tattvam. Swam tattvam. The true nature of oneself, the entity called I, which is tirohita, concealed, hidden on account of what? Maya karya. Maya, ignorance of the totality of the world and its effect. Na duryukti bhi. Not by giving to what? Arguments, etc. It is not possible. We have to discover for it. So, fine. I got Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana. What will I get? What is the problem now? No problem now. You know, you go to tribal areas. Very pathetic condition. It actually happened as well for as one who is expert in social services. What is your problem? No problem. Have you got water? Yes. Water means this is month of May. Huh? So can I see the well? You know what is the water? The water, the well is dry except little a spring, little spring. Even your pot will not get immersed. You know how they are doing it? Keep a pot here and that tin. Tin, which is that? What is that? No, it is protein excess. So dabba, chota dabba. It is some string is that. They throw it and they say, and in that dabba tin, half it comes. And to fill up one water pot, and it's 2 hours will be required. Water is there? Yes. Do they know that they have problems? That is our plight. संसार ठीक है? Are you happy? बीच में थोड़ा little happiness here and there. Why? Accustomed. I was talking to a doctor. How is this? The doctor said, Swamiji, this is because of malnutrition. Brain is not working. It is because of what? Malnutrition. They are not aware. Another thing, they have resigned to this fate. Accepted it. Similarly, we have accepted what? Samsara. And if some Mahatma comes and tells, what strange thing these people are talking. What strange thing they are talking. So therefore what is to be done? First, the person has to make to discover the problem. क्या करने का? If a person is busy in his own world because of what? Some delusions like liquor, etc. क्या करने का? Give 2 blows. Give 2 blows. What? Suddenly he will come to senses. So that who will give his blows? If someone gives, he will be behind the bars. Only Bhagwan can give. Only Bhagwan can give blows. That is why in life, what can happen, at what time, from what quarters, in what magnitude, at this, nobody can know. Of course, it is not accidental, it is all incidental. Why? Past karma account is that one should find out a solution once forever, totally get freed from that. And that is where is knowing our true Swarupa, aparokshataya, directly. That is where what happens. So, this Upanishads, Adhyatma Shastra, that it helps us. Lord Krishna has told, if you gain the knowledge of your Swarupa, You will be free from Janma Marana. Is it desirable to be free from Janma Marana? What is wrong? New bodies will be there. Today you can't fly. Tomorrow you'll what? You will get the bird's body. Aerial view. For what? Where rotten flesh is there. Desirable. Eagle. Vultures. Isn't desirable? So that is it. So that means the case. Freedom. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha. What is that? Samsiddhim paramam gata. Having gained me, Lord Krishna says, with that me, Parabrahma Swarupa. Having discovered Swarupa, Mamupetya punarjanma, rebirth, future birth. Dukkhalayam. You know what alaya? The Indian should know. What is that? Bhojanalaya. What is it? Hotel. Chikitsalaya. Hospital or nursing home. Vachanalaya. Library. Dukkhalaya. Storehouse of what? Sorrow. Dukkhalaya. Alaya means what? Place. Sorrow. Now think of it. Having come here, what is the story? Suppose if you don't have sorrow, you have to thank, you know whom? Your stars. You have to thank your stars that you don't have temporary, no sorrow. Ashashvatam, impermanent. That's it. Moksha is what Lord Krishna says, not me, okay? Freedom from Janma, Marana, Rupa, Samsara. But what is wrong in being here? What is wrong? Nothing is wrong. No? That is the way. What can you do? You have to accept and work for betterment. Is it? You know what is the other thing? This Jagat, Nityam, Asukham. Lord Krishna says, 9th chapter. Morning it is going to come. Nityam, impermanent. Asukham, true joy is not there. And therefore he says, Imam prapya bhajasvama. You seek me because of that. So therefore you seek me because of this. Why? You have come to this anitya asukha jagat. Or you want to continue? Anityam asukham lokam. We are saved. Lord Krishna has put the nameplate for this jagat. What is that? Impermanent, no happiness. And what we expect from this jagat? Permanence in terms of ever living, and then what? Always happiness. Is it ever possible? You are wrong. But the Lord Krishna says that to know oneself is what? The prime goal of human existence. Again say, Anityam is asukam lokam imam prapya. What imam prapya? Having got this? Manushya loka. Human embodiment. Have you got human embodiment or not?
Yes.
We don't know the worth of human embodiment. Do you know why? What is the prime purpose of human embodiment? You have got the latest brand car. What is the purpose of it? Traveling. You have got the best suit. Marry. Good food. Eat it. So now, best human body. What for? Do you know the worth of human body? That is our problem. we have got it, we take it for granted. Jantunam nara janma durlabham. Among all living beings, 84 lakhs of species, human embodiment is rare to get. Do you know why? That is the only embodiment designed to gain Atma Jnana Moksha. Except Brahmaloka. But don't run after Brahmaloka. Right? You will more often than not land in Brahmaloka. You know why? Difficult, very difficult. Better gain your Swarupa. So therefore, having got human embodiment, such a rare embodiment, and there also such a rare occasion to study Upanishads, not ordinary. Make best use of it. Don't run after this. So therefore, that is it. Now we are studying what is called as what? Mandukya Upanishad. The rishi for this is which is called as Manduka. We call it Manduka. So, what is Manduka? Frog. What is the speciality of this frog? 10 months it hibernates, and 2 months during the monsoons, what does it do? Croaks. Croaks. Have you heard the sound of croaking? Melodious like cooing. Hi! Croak, croak, croak. Not croak, croak. It is a croak. The croaking. Croaks. What has to do with this Manduka? See, in Bhagavata, there is one verse. The heavy rain was being described. Vyasa described how it says, Shrutva Parjanya Ninadam. Having heard the word thunder, the sound of rain means what? Thunder. Mandukaha Vesrujan Gira. Please help someone to put it off. So that Mandukaha Giraha Vesrujan. Frogs are what? Croaking. Illustration. Like that, you know, what is Brahmanas? What is Brahmanas do? That Brahmana can be taken two ways. One Brahmajnani, other Brahmana. Niyamatyaye. They observe some vrata, etc. and what? Mauna. They don't talk at all. Once the niyama is over, that vrata is over, they start talking, croaking like that. So here you have to take not ordinary Brahmana, Brahmajnani. This Brahmajnani is immersed where? In Swarupa. No talk at all. He comes out and what? Tries to describe what? Brahma Swarupa. Then you should say Gita. Why are you talking about croaking? It is as good as a croaking. Do you know why? Truly they can't describe it. Atma Brahma is beyond the range of words. But they try to struggle, manipulate and try to say it is no better than the croaking. But useful or not? It is certainly useful. So therefore Manduka, Mandukya. And it is smallest or small Upanishad. You know how much? Only 12 mantras. 12 mantras. And its import has been expanded by Gaudapadacharya in terms of 4 chapters. So here, 6th mantra is expanded, elaborated in the chapter called वैतथ्य प्रकरण. Seventh mantra, Vaitathya means what? Falsehood, falsity, mithyatva, false nature of the Jagat. Seventh mantra is described in Advaita Prakarana. It is non-dual nature of Atma, Brahma. That is. Then 12th mantra is that described in the this Alata Shanti Prakarana. Rest all in the first Prakarana called Agama Prakarana. So therefore, this is from Atharva Veda Upanishad. Speciality of this is, it is said in what is that? Muktiko Upanishad. The Mukti Upanishad, what is said? What we have Mumukshu, Mandukyam Eva Alam. One Mandukya Upanishad only is what? Sufficient to gain the Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, provided what? Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti is there, Shuddha Antakarana is there, Chitta Naishya. If this is that, one Upanishad, 12 months, what job is? So here, that is what this. And it is from Atharva Veda. In the Vedas, there are what are shakhas, different branches or portions of recension. Totally actually 1180 shakhas were there. Each shakha consists of one Upanishad. Unfortunately, nowadays, it is that only 11 shakhas are available. And the total tally Upanishad available, Mantra Upanishad, Brahmana Upanishad, etc., so are about 220 to 240. They are doing research, etc., but up to 220 or 240 they have come as. Among all Upanishad, Mukti Upanishad, it gives the list of Upanishad with the Shanti Patha, to which Veda it belongs, everything is listed there. He said, if you really master Mandukya, say different, Mundaka Upanishad is different from Mandukya Upanishad. We are studying Mandukya Upanishad. It's different, so that is enough for that. Being from Atharva Veda, it has got the Shanti Patha of Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama Deva. Actually, this mantra, which is that Bhadram Karne Vishrunuyama, is not from Atharva Veda. It is from Sama Veda. Sama Veda it is 1874, two mantras are there. Swastina Indro, second mantra. 1874, 1875. But customarily, this is chanted when by studying Atharva Veda or the Upanishads belonging to. So what is the purpose of Shanti Mantra? Shanti Mantra is a prayer. Before starting the study of the Upanishad, you pray. What for? Your study must be successful. There should not be any obstruction in the Upanishad. The very fact that you have chosen to study Upanishad, what does it indicate? You are a mumukshu or a bubukshu, or on the path of becoming on the verge of becoming bubukshu generally, but now slowly want to become mumukshu. It shows you are interested in the subject matter. Means you are a jidnyasu. You have value for what? Upanishad. But that adjustment is not sufficient. Still further fine adjustment must be done. Those of you who have handled microscope, you know, once upon a time the laboratory. What is that? Two knobs are there. One is rough adjustment knob, other one is fine adjustment knob. Rough adjustment knob gives the word object in some cases. Fine adjustment totally focuses. As I told you, you have undertaken to study Upanishad means rough adjustment is there. What is necessary now? Fine tuning is necessary, fine adjustment is necessary, for which you are offering the prayers. So that first obstructions should be, and you should first grasp the import of that teaching. Then manana, nididhyasana, have aparoksha, jnana, aparoksha, because there are many slips between the cup and the list. Who can help us? Ishvara, Parameshwara, divinity principle. That is how it is said. So that's why I say, Devaha karmebhi bhadram shunuyama. Here, the prayer is offered not directly to who? Ishvara, but the presiding deities, they preside over different faculties in this embodiment. Devaha. Who Devaha here? Devas, that is the presiding deities, those bless or enable Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Prana, Mana, Buddhi, general body, etc. So that is their Adhisthana Devata. Because it is in that field the upkeep of the body, for right function of the body is that. That is Devaha. So that is O presiding deities who preside over this body. That is the Adhisthana Devata. Devaha. Or it can be Devaha means the Devas who have got power from who? Parameshwara. Karnebhi, by our ears, Karnebhi, Bhadram Shunuyama. Shunuyama, may we listen. Bhadram. What is Bhadram? Bhajaniyam, adorable, auspicious. Again, Shunuyama is there. May we listen, that is good, auspicious. What can be auspicious listening? Rock and roll. What is that? Kalyana Vachana means description of something which is auspicious, which is happy in nature. It is nothing but that teaching which unfolds Nirvishesha Brahma. Most Bhadra. You know, we have got word Abhadra. Inauspicious. So that is here auspicious. Most auspicious is, in terms of listening, is the this, the description of Nirguna Brahma. Shunuyama, may we listen. You may say, Swamiji, olden days this what? Prayer necessary. Today not necessary. Why? Online you get online you get everything. Online you get everything true. But somebody has to give online, no? Working. And what is comes on online, is it authentic or not? Who has to decide? Well, decide. Huh? See, suppose you are interested in what? Listening Mandukya Upanishadic Bhashya. You click YouTube. I think there are so many names there. I don't know. There is not there. Yeah. How to verify? Anybody can put on online. Finally, what you have to do? You have to use your discretion. You know what happened was, when these computers and internet was coming, yet to come in India, okay. One of a student, who was a very prominent doctor, professor also, had gone to America for a seminar. And a very highly educated, that is one doctor was talking about. The first session of the talk was over. They were having breakfast. Just opposite to him, one American doctor was sitting. Just casually for the Indian doctor. How did you find the talk? Just there. They're marvelous. He said, look, the problem with us is that he gave so many versions. If you want to verify correct or not, where will you go? Internet. I call internet as modern Brihaspati. You know, Brihaspati is the guru of Devatas. Supposed to is Sarvajna. So modern, many times useful. But the problem is, say, if I put a question that American doctor is saying and ask for the answer, 1,000 answers are there. Is it correct? If I think other way, I think it is not correct. I put other way, another 1,000. Where are you? At crossroad one. You have to decide. It gives up. Therefore, online Mandukya will be available. How to determine which is authentic, which is not, what you do? Throw your arms up and pray to who? Ishvara. Oh Bhagavan, please guide me. For me, all look alike only. All are dadiwalas or shaven heads. So somebody said, I can't distinguish ping pong from ching chong. like Chinese faces or this, Japanese faces. So who can help you? Only Ishvara can help. So prayer is necessary. Bhadram Shunayama Deva. Oh, time is over. So let us all listen to what? Bhadram. That's what is Bhadram? Most auspicious about the teaching of Brahma. We'll see it next time. One thing. Next Sunday evening, this class will not be there. Ramnavami festival, some programs are going on here, and therefore next Sunday evening class, next to that we are going to, but next Sunday morning class is
Swasti prajabhya paripalayam nyayena margena mahim mahisha go brahmanebhya shivamastu nityam लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी। देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः। ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि